Hi, Earth Angels. I'm happy to have you here for another week for our weekly Angel Oracle card reading. And I have a little funny story because I just finished recording all of this for all of you, and then I just noticed that for some reason it did not save it. So I'm going to re-record this for all of you, but the cards were all pertinent and the reading was really beautiful, so I'm just going to share it with you again. So if you don't see me shuffle the decks this week, that is why. I'm using the Doreen Virtue Radley Valentine Angel deck this week, and I pulled the cards with the intention of the beginning of the week, the midweek, and the late week, or the weekend. And for our first card, for early this week, I have the Seven of Water, which is a beautiful card, and I love the way they designed this card because each of the cups have a color that is relevant to a different chakra point in the body. So the Seven of Water tells us that we have some complex decisions to make. We need to do research, and we also need to stop procrastinating. This card, for me, what I'm feeling from it is that when we are making decisions, where are we making our decisions from? Are we making them with the mind? Are we making them with the heart? For us women, are we making them with our womb? Are we feeling it in our gut? Are we making it decisions out of our fight or flight? Where are we making our decisions this week? What chakra? And can we, within ourselves, start making decisions with all of our being? Where can we feel those answers within us that we know are true, that are deep within us? Because we always have the answers. Sometimes it's just shaking off, where the dust is and helping us to find clarity. Because as they say in the Course of Miracles, the Holy Spirit's voice is as loud as our willingness to listen. And if we're having a hard time making a decision, let's see how we can still the mind and put our intentions to really listening to get help with those decisions. For the midweek, we have the King of Earth. And the King of Earth is great. He tells us that we're having a successful time, that we're usually spending our money pretty responsibly. It's also an opportunity card again. Like last week, those of you that listened, we got Yamanya, which is the Golden Opportunity Goddess. She's the goddess of water. And for me personally, that card came true because tomorrow I'll be leaving for San Francisco on a beautiful opportunity. Someone offered me a free ticket to fly and collaborate with an artist that's doing a body paint project. As some of you may know, I also do some modeling, which is one of my favorite creative expressions. And so that golden opportunity did present itself as we saw in the forecast. And it can come to us in an infinite number of ways, and I know, particularly in your life, that it may not have been a modeling job, but something that really was meaningful to you. And this card also tells us that we have the Midas touch. So right now, projects, we can touch them and it's almost like they turn to gold. Like they can really transform, like its own alchemist kind of card. You can transform something that's normal into something pretty extraordinary with the right intention. This card also, to me, tells us that if we're having questions about our finances, to look to someone who's wise and experienced for help in this area. The King of Earth is very generous and often wants us to be responsible with our money, but he also wants to remind us that there's a lot of abundance in the world. It's just integrating it into the material world and helping us to, be comfortable with our financial decisions. For the end of the week, we have the Five of Water, which a lot of times this card makes people a little uncomfortable because it's also known as the heartbreak card. It's the emotional suit, so it's talking about things not turning out the way we expected, relationships not going the way we had planned. But this card also tells us, it's a reminder and a nudge from the angels that we're not looking at the positive in the situation, we're only seeing the negative. So that's why sometimes this card is like the heartbreak card, because it's almost like we're choosing to break our own hearts even more than the situation that presented itself. And so, as we can see in this card, we have the 3 cups that are turned over, but we have 2 right here that are full of something delicious and yummy. And we can ask ourselves when we're feeling like everything's lost and everything's gone, what remains, because there is still something valuable there. And even in every challenge, it's an opportunity to gain wisdom. And so it's not bad to have these feelings. Go sit with yourself and feel all those yummy, delicious feelings inside of you, even if they're a little, darker, uncomfortable. If you sit with a still mind, really ask yourself what's going on there. Where that fear is residing. Is it fear of loneliness? Is it fear of like being left behind? Are you forgetting how whole and complete and beautiful you are in and of yourself? Where are your fears about your emotions coming from? This card can kind of be a depression card too. So if you are particularly depressed, or you're a very sensitive soul, like a lot of us earth angels, if you have a friend you can trust, perhaps this is a time where you can reach out to that friend. Also, if you're particularly very depressed, I always say ask for help. I'm a person that, like, with my own journey, I've now learned the tools that I need, and I can sit in my own personal space. Occasionally I ask a friend, but some people might want an actual professional's help, like a therapist, and there's no shame in that. There's lots of people that are willing to help, and just ask, if you're nervous about it, pray to Spirit and the angels to help bring the right person to you, and you'll get just the help that you need. But don't let your depression take all the beauty away from life, because even in the darkest days, there are still really beautiful gems in that dirt. You just have to know how to dig and to be gentle to yourself with this. This card doesn't always mean like it's a bad thing. It's just typically our reactions in the human form is like when things don't go the way we have planned, we get really frustrated and emotional, and emotions are normal. This card also can symbolize, for me, what's coming through is also this weekend, be very careful with intoxicating alcoholic beverages. Because the 5 is usually a conflict with that sort of thing. So just be a little more mindful about what you take in this week, or be careful, like if you're at a party, not to leave your drink unattended. We like to believe everyone is as good-hearted as we are, but just be like the angels are looking out for us, so they're going like, watch that beverage right there. Watch your own intake of fluids, and what's going on there, and make sure that it's not creating more conflict in your cells, in your body, in your mind, and to really detox there. So that was really beautiful. And in here there's a blue female and this masculine, this red passionate energy, which tells me also there's a divine masculine and divine feminine concept here, and you have both still. Wholeness within yourself, even when you feel like things are pouring over, you have that wholeness with this card. And lastly, I had said in the last reading that didn't save the recording, but I had, when picking the decks that I used for the week, this deck was glowing, and I thought that was weird. And when I mean glowing, one of my senses of my intuition is my clairsentience, which is like a clear feeling, which is the one that I trust the most. Like I get goosebumps on certain things, or temperature changes, or I feel things with a lot of truth. But sometimes I'll get this like third eye illumination where things just have my attention and they're glowing. And so this deck, I was like, oh, that's kind of odd, angels. I was like, this deck is usually something I use for individual people looking for particular soul path or what their purpose is or career choice. And I was like, but I'm going to trust it because you're glowing. So I shuffled this deck, and the card that came out was the Freedom card. And I laughed. And I'm still just so grateful for this, because no matter what we do this week we have some tough decisions to maybe make in the beginning of the week. We have some opportunity midweek and financial decisions and abundance. And then towards the end of the week, things might not go the way we have planned with our relationships. But this whole time, we are free to do what we choose. And if we listen and make decisions with all that we are, we will pick the path with clear intentions and hold peace in our heart as we make these decisions. And it's not that there are like not necessarily right and wrong decisions. There are decisions that have less obstacle or resistance. And then there's ones that present us with more challenge. So with every challenge is an opportunity. It's your perspective. So this card is just a really beautiful message of we are free beings. And if you're not feeling free, how can you free yourself? Where are you feeling the boundaries? Where are you feeling limited? Because you are free. You came here to be free, to express yourself with freedom. That doesn't mean you get to say anything you want without repercussions, but it does mean you came here to creatively express. So ask yourself if you're coming from your heart with that. And the dolphins on this card always remind us to play. So in our freedom, how can we play? And gosh, the wind is just blowing and it's so beautiful here. Thank you, angels, for this message. And I'm glad I trusted my intuition on pulling that deck that didn't seem to fit here, but it always can fit a message anywhere. And as you can see, I didn't introduce you guys to this space in the beginning, but you see that I'm moving every week. And this week I am reporting from Long Beach, California, in this beautiful backyard. It has tons of flowers and vines, and it's just been really good sitting here with the trees and nature, because that to me is one of the ways that I can heal myself if I'm feeling stressed. And with traveling, it's really important to be able to touch into the earth. And so I am glad to bring you here to this sacred space. And it almost feels like it's going to rain, which I'm really excited, because yesterday I put some intentions. There's a drought in California, and I put some intentions to not only nourish myself here, but to also let the land be nourished. And I asked for the spirits of the earth to help nourish the land here. And it's feeling really cool, and it might just rain, even though there's a drought. But hey, a little sprinkle, and I'm not going to complain, because I'm grateful regardless. And so this new moon that happened yesterday and today, the transit, and we're also having an eclipse this week. So with the new moon, we have shed the things we are going to shed this week, and it's all about building and claiming the new in our life this week. So write a list of things you want to get rid of, habits, people that aren't, like relationships that aren't serving you, things that you really want to surrender to spirit, and really put all your intention into claiming the new, because that is what the new to the full moon is about, is what do you want to manifest? And all of our thoughts are powerful, each and every one. And if you can feel it, it's even more powerful. So feel with all of you, sit with yourself, what do you really want? And so it is. And thank you so much for being here this week. It's so wonderful to be able to share these messages with you and hear how they resonate in your life in so many different ways. And I love you, and I pray that this week, with its opportunities and its challenges, you know your strength and your wholeness, and you see the wisdom that you are gaining from all of this. Because we are not victims. We have co-created this reality. And if we view it as such, we are so much more free to embrace each experience with an open heart. I love you with all of me. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.